it's Nancy, and I am here to try something a little different. I'm going to try to approach the idea of collage theory. So I have gotten a couple of questions about how do you collage. So I think of collage a couple of different ways. Let me grab a piece. So the other day I made this tag that had a little collage at the bottom. Here's some more collage. What else have I got in here? Oh, I think just about everything that day was collage, wasn't it? This one had some sort of a mix of things. There's some collage. That's just these are postcards. There's a bit. So this is, got some textiles, lace. So, but I also think of collage as a nice neutral base for a lot of things. Oh, come on. I've got to have something in here. What's in here? Like I also think of these as collage, these lace clusters. That's a collage. But what I was looking for was a nice neutral base. Oh, here's a flip out that I had made, and I collaged this is an envelope, and I collaged the entire surface of the envelope, and I've even got a tab and a tag and everything. So I never finished it, but this is one of the things in here. So all of these elements have been collaged with sort of neutral papers. These teeny tiny tags are even collage. So we'll start off pretty basic. These are collage. We'll start off pretty basic and see where we go. I have never studied art. I don't think you need to study art to make a decent collage. But let's go for it. So let's start with the very basic, making a neutral background from text pages. So I've got a couple of things. Move these images first. So I have some book pages here. These are tea-dyed book pages from a vintage book. So these are all tea-dyed. They're a nice color. This is vintage vocabulary from a Latin textbook. This was a Christmas card envelope, and this is some old music paper. So when I'm doing my little bobbins for storing ribbon and trims, I have this bowl, and any little scraps of paper that have text on them, I just tear them up and throw them in this bowl, and then randomly glue them to lightweight card, or you know, something the weight of like a greeting card, and then I can cut those up. So I've got some pieces here. Don't need those right now. I just wanted to show you how I tame my scraps. All right, now I have 2 rulers that I use for tearing paper. I have this big 12-inch one, and I've taken just some needle nose pliers and nipped off little edges from the ruler. This wasn't my idea. I got that from Catherine from Sunnyside Journals. I also have a little 6-inch one, and this one's really handy. So I'm going to tear up some of these text pages. I think backgrounds look best when the sections are about the same size. So I'm taking off these plain margins. So I sort of, you know, about the width of the ruler, maybe just a little bigger. They don't have to be exact. Sometimes it's better to have a little square and a little more rectangular. I think I'll use some of this. So I don't like how it's showing white, so I'm going to turn it upside down, turn it that way, and then there's less white than that side. I don't like straight edges, although that's okay to have some straight edges. So if you're putting the collage right up against the side of a piece of paper. So these are about the same width. I'm going to make these a little narrower though, because I'm going to want less blotches of solid gold. And I think we could do with some music. So you don't have to have a ton of variety. In fact, if you wanted to use just dictionary pages and sort of alter the way they lay, that looks good too. This is a thicker ruler than you know, your typical back to school stationery kind of ruler. So it tears really easy. Okay. So I'm going to grab some card here. So I keep hunks of card that has been cut from packaging or whatever, or book pages that have been, this is not book pages, but the instructions from Sewing Patterns. Keep them cut to, you know, a relatively good tag size or journal card size. This is some file folder that I've cut down. So I've just picked a few out. And we need a scrap of paper. That's not a scrap of paper. This is an old calendar, 2011. I guess I didn't have a very exciting life. I was in university at the time. Okay, I use glue stick. This is my favorite glue stick. I've never seen any videos of anybody else using this kind of glue stick. This is from Target in the US. When the borders closed, I was a wreck because I was cut off from my source of glue stick, but some wonderful American friends came into the lurch and helped me out, and I've been able to get through the pandemic so far. Okay. So I'm just going to start at an edge, and it doesn't really matter how you place your papers. Come on. Oh. I'm not going to use that one. I should have put glue on the other side. Okay, this time I'll know. Your fingers will get really gross, gluey, black from the text. Just slightly overlapping the little bits. Don't think about it too much. A little blank area there, so I'm going to cover that up. That was easy peasy. Now, if I want to use this for a tag or a journaling card, I can turn this over and I can either just glue a piece of plain paper. So like this was an extra page from a book. You know, sometimes in books they'll have I like that color better. They'll have extra pages. Like this was torn from a book. But like at the end of the book it'll have 3 or 4 blank pages. This one's even more antique-y looking. That's the one we're going to do. And again, I am using just glue stick. Once you practice this, you get addicted to it. This has a picture on the back that I was not going to use. So that's why I had it in my plain paper box that I have all of my scraps all divided into 6 different categories. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a card. In 6 different categories. So I have pages that have text on them. I have patterned cardstock, solid colored cardstock, patterned regular weight paper, and plain regular weight paper. So that's 5. And my 6th box has partially completed page elements in them. Things that I've half made. Now, I didn't invent that. That came from Corey Dahman, who did a video quite some time ago now about how she keeps her scraps all wrangled, and it's been very effective for me. Okay. Now, I have a very small area to work here. I also had a question about my ruler. Most junk journalers that I see in videos, they use cutters, and I have 3 different cutters. I have 4 different colors. I have a big guillotine, I have a small guillotine, and I have 2 with the sliding cutting part. I don't like any of them. I don't feel like they give a clean cut, number 1. Number 2, I don't think it's a 90-degree edge. I feel like it's a little off. So I use this ruler, or a ruler like this. This one is made by Olfa. This one is made by Fiskars. These are quilting rulers. You can get them at fabric stores. I'm sure Walmart carries them. And they don't come in centimeters. They only come in inches. And I think because I'm a longtime quilter, that it just works in my brain easier to use a quilting ruler. And I use an Olfa knife, box cutter kind of thing. And that's an Olfa, and you just snap off. I should demonstrate that. I'll put a piece of tape. You just snap it off. Oop. And I just put it in tape so that it doesn't cut through a garbage bag or anything. So now I have a nice, fresh, sharp blade. I have 2 glue sticks open. So I'm going to cut this down. I have a preferred size for a tag, a big tag. So this one is 3 3/4 by 6. So that to me that's a good size for a tag. So that's probably what I will do. Well, nope, because it's not quite 6 inches, but it's close. It's close. Just looking for the edge of that card. Okay. I keep this template in my little box over here. I'm going to do a little bit of inking. If you're not an inker, I get it. I don't always ink. My preferred color of ink, again, unusual. I prefer gathered twigs over antique photo. And I just use this makeup brush. Okay. Now we have some white edges here. So I'm just going to go over some of where the paper overlaps to give a little color, a little definition, a little more dimension, so you can tell that it's layers on layers. And it will hide that white paper. Okay. I'm going to stitch this first, and then we'll come back and decorate it by doing more collage on top. So let me just pause while I do some sewing. Okay, I've got this stitched. Now, I did this technique where I've got this bunched up messy stitching here. Cool. I've been experimenting with this for a couple of days. This was a technique that I learned from Shinuki Arts. I will put a link in. Now on the back, I know I'm going back to some very basic things, but I recognize that I've got quite a few newcomers, mostly sent over from Diane Hubert's channel. The Christmas tags that I did a few weeks ago, all of them on the music background. I did 19 different tags. She did a series based on those tags. So I'm just pulling the threads, the loose threads, all to the back. There it is. I think. Nope. Who do you belong to? You. Okay. pulling the wrong thing, clearly. Come on, you. Might as well watch me fight with it. There we go. Okay, they're all on the same side now. I'm going to knot these. So that was left over right and now right over left to make a knot that won't untie. Although I have had the misfortune of when I'm inking over a knot, it comes untied when I use my brush to ink. So I don't cut until after I have inked. Now, I'll bring this up close so you can see where the needle pushing through has displaced some paper and made it dimensional. I don't like that. So if you go counterclockwise with on the back, because you sew clockwise, so if you go the opposite direction with something to press this down, a bone folder. This is a piece from a We Are Memory Keepers, I don't know, envelope board or something. That just pushes that paper down, makes it flat. Looks a lot neater. And then ink, 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 ink. You'll notice I didn't put a hole in the tag. Sometimes I like a hole. Sometimes I prefer to use a textile as a tab. Okay, so now that everything's inked, I can cut those strings off. Some people like to leave the threads hanging. Not me. All right. So we have a background. Now, I have a lot of different bits and pieces of things that I fussy cut. A lot of flowers, a lot of birds. And I keep them in these, oh, goodness gracious. These little drawers here that are meant for cosmetics, I think. I have 3 of these. I have smaller ones that I got from the dollar store to store other stuff. So, like, I've got a lot of flowers in here. Most of them are cut out. Some of them aren't cut yet. These ones are all birds. I was thinking I might do a bird. Okay, might do a bird. And I also pulled out this envelope of images I've just pulled out of books and magazines. And then also up here on my other shelf where I keep my, hey, that might make a nice collage piece. My meatball box where I keep little bits that are too precious to throw away. And then recently I had some old 1980s magazines that I got a hold of, and I thought they might be, there's some fun stuff there that I might want to use. I thought that lamp was kind of neat. That Sherlock Holmes, some houses, some different stuff. So So I might keep that. I might keep that bird. I kind of like her. This is another bunch of stuff. Some I've got fussy cut out, some I don't. Just when I see something that really intrigues me, like that wall with the roses, there's not enough color there, but this would look great on something with a colored background. This is too big. But if, you know, I got rid of her, maybe I could have these two ladies on there. Kind of like that black and white as well, but it's too up and down. It's not going, it's too big to give it a lot of interest, because I'd have to cut off a lot. Some things are just too small. Like that's kind of cute. Like I could layer a couple of pictures on there. Got some flowers here that I haven't cut. There's a poppy. That might be pretty. That baby's cute. A lot of little things in here that I don't think will work. I kind of liked this little girl. I might fussy cut her out and see how it goes. I also like this baby. Well, she's ironing her doll's dress. So I've got a couple of options, but I'm going to fussy cut this little lady out. So this is an engraving. Came from a book. I don't know what book. And my favorite scissors are Fisker's Easy Action. So they've got a spring in them. They're very sharp. And I am going to just trim around. Now, the secret with fussy cutting is to move the paper, not the scissors. So just kind of keep a steady pressure on the scissors. The scissors used to be available at Walmart. They were about $14, $15 Canadian, I think. I haven't been able to find them there for a long time. I found them on Amazon. Oh, I guess within the last year, and I ordered 3 pairs so that I would never be without these scissors. Because sometimes you get scissors and they walk away. I don't know if anybody else has had that sort of experience. There's a feather or something there on her hat. That's not going to be easy cut, so I'm just going to cut it right off. No one will be the wiser. Sometimes it's easier if you cut away some of the background, and then you don't have as much to fight against, so it's not interfering with your cutting. I enjoy fussy cutting. I find it very relaxing. In fact, I have boxes of images that are fussy cut that I will never ever use. So the purpose of this image is to create a focal point for the collage. But I can add other details. Just trying to see. Sometimes the engravings make it difficult to find the edge. But on the other hand, the engravings are sometimes easier to cut because you don't have to be so precise. Okay. So I might lose some of that, and that's fine with me. I think I'd like to put like a flower behind her. So not one of those little poppies. Sorry, I'm fighting with my stuff here. Got some big, ridiculously big flowers here that I could use. I have these camellias. Oh, that's nice. I like that. I also have this little yellow flower. I would cut out that white piece. No. No. I have red camellias. I think that's a camellia. You know what? Don't think so. Maybe that's her name, Camellia. Ooh, look at these hollyhocks. Let's do camellias. Okay. first thing I'm going to do is give this a little ink. First thing I'm going to do is find the ink. Anybody see it? Oh, there it is. And I'm going to use a slightly different color ink. I'm going to, shoot, dropped it on the floor. I'm going to use Distress ink. And that's to take some of this whiter. What did I say? I said Distress ink. What I meant was antique linen. Just sort of to take some of the whiteness away. And then I will switch out. All right, now, did I have it this way or the other way? I think I had it the other way, this way, because the roses are growing up. Okay, I'm going to cut out, I thought she was going to cover those window parts, but she's not cutting that entirely. So, I have a sheet of glass here. This is from a picture frame, and I've just wrapped it with some tape. And I have my X-Acto knife with a new blade in it. And cutting on glass is better than one of those self-heating mats. This one is not my favorite. Where's my favorite knife? There it is. Self-healing mats, your blade will go into the mat and it'll be not as smooth as on glass. And again, you're moving the image more than you are, or sorry, yeah, you're moving the image more than you are the knife. You'll see I'm leaving just a hair's width of the white paper around the colored part of the image. I think it's a good look. I like it. This was a whisker width. It's hardly worth cutting, but okay. So I will ink up those fresh cuts there. Let's look at it one more time. Okay. So this, I'm going to lose some of the leaves and the back of the trunk. And we'll get rid of the glass. I just use glue stick. If this had a lot of long skinny pieces, I would go in with my art glitter glue. But this has got, you know, fairly big chunks. I'm just going around the edge, make sure the edge is sealed. Oh, that looks pretty. And now we'll do this little girl. Making sure that little point of the umbrella gets sufficient glue. All right. Okay. All right. A little more glue on the cut edge, or sorry, glue. A little more ink on the edges that I just cut. Oh, I think she's lovely. I think she's lovely. Okay, now for a tab. Ooh, I know what I have. In my meatball box. So this is some little fragments of petticoat. I bought a vintage wedding dress a couple weeks ago. And maybe. I might have liked that if the lace had gone under this leaf. I'm going to see if I can lift it. Not sure. Another thing I could try is, I have some linen here. We'll just make it a little grubbier. Use some antique linen on the antique linen. Oh yeah, that's better, that's better. Okay. Okay, this needs some stitches. Be right back. Okay, so there she is. And I've got one more base made up because I thought I'd do something with smaller pieces to see how. So I've got several different things I've pulled out here. And a cat. And a cat who's meowing. So you've probably heard of the rule of thirds. So you want to like cut your base into 3 by 3. So 9 rectangles. So I'm going to focus on keeping my collage in the bottom 2/3 and in the right hand 2/3. And the rule of thirds, I don't really understand it, but it just, your eye naturally accepts that better. So I'm going down 2/3. Give or take. There's some complexity there. And to top it off, so the weight is here. You know, you've got the layers happening in this bottom corner. I know the butterfly does go right over to the other edge, but I feel like the weight is in this right hand 2/3. Let me try. Yeah, that's too many squares. Okay, I'm gonna go with this butterfly. So he needs some ink, clearly. Everything needs some ink. I prepared the base the same way. It's slightly smaller than the other card, the other tag. This one I'm leaving as a card though. This frame I just cut out of a magazine. It was a Martha Stewart Living magazine. It was actually an ad for rice. You gotta be careful with this. Okay. Lid. Okie dokie. So I remember this was on the very bottom, and I had it sort of framed in that gold piece of paper, so that should be easy to remember. This was just a scrap of some stamps of some kind. I don't even remember, but it was one of those things that was just too precious to throw out. Okay. How did I do this? Like that? Or was it the other way? I'm going to glue that with a little bit of art glitter glue across the top. A little flashcard. Oh, that came, it was a die cut that came with something. I don't know. I'm going to try one more butterfly here. I think I like that one better. A little different color. The yellow one would have worked, but so because he's got teeny weeny little antennae, I'm going to use this art glitter glue. There we go. So I'm very happy with that now. I forgot to cut the corners off. And this time, This time I think I'll use a little piece of lace. Let me choose something and I'll come back and show you the finished tag. Okay. So I just added this piece of the tablecloth that I've just stitched across the top there, and to add a little more weight into this bottom 2/3, 1/3, I've done some black stitches here, some black zigzags. Whoop. So next time I think I will do another video about collage. But I will do something with a colored paper background instead of the neutral paper background. How's that sound? Okay. All right. Thanks so much for spending the last hour with me. I hope you enjoyed seeing these come together. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.